Yo, yo, yo.
What's up?
What up?
What's up?
How's everybody out there doing tonight? How you doing, Monica?
I'm doing good. I missed everybody last night. I was out trick-or-treating with my son, so I didn't do my show last night. Unfortunately, for the second week in a row, because I was sick the week previously. So that sucks. But I'll do what I can to get some content out there for everybody. Whew, I got to get this cap straight. It's all like cricket.
Yeah, I was messing with my hair. Like, I was brushing my hair right before, and Jen's like, what are you trying to do? Have a freaking do a comb over like I do? Just her hair. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, go look in the mirror. And I was like, holy shit.
Mm.
I had to do
No comb over, sir.
Yeah, right. No kidding. So how was the trick-or-treating?
It was good. You know, Lucas dressed up as Frankenstein. And we had bought him this whole costume with a mask and everything, but he decided not to wear the mask. So I just painted his face green and put the scars on him and kind of give him the little hollow eyes. It was cute. Let's see if I can pull up a photo because I thought he looked cute, but you know, he's my son. So of course I think he looks cute. See?
Ah, Sal, you did a good job. Try to get Jen to send me one of hers from last night.
And then I dressed up too because I did the purge for my office. I think I sent you the photo, right?
Yeah.
So there's my, if you can see from the reflection, there's Monica in her purge outfit. I had to take a picture of my reflection in the mirror, or not in the mirror, but in the door, like one of the empty offices. There's no full-length mirrors anywhere. And I wasn't wearing that out trick-or-treating. Hell nah. Because I was wearing hot pants and fishnets. I had like boots pulled up halfway up my thigh. And I was like, there's no way I'm going trick-or-treating with the kids wearing that outfit.
Oh, Jen does.
Oh, hell no. Not the neighborhoods we go into. Those Highland Park moms would be like,
yeah, Jen went as a fallen angel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like a all black angel. She wore this long freaking purple wig, and then Jaden went as the Grim Reaper.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he had a pretty cool little. If Jen can, she's probably taking a shower, so it might be later before I get to show y'all. But yeah, so how's life treating you? Good.
Yeah, I mean it's okay. I'm just I haven't been feeling great the last week or two, so I've been trying to kick whatever the heck I've got going on. It's not COVID, but I'm just not feeling it. You know? Yeah. Which sucks. You know, nobody wants to feel like that, especially with Halloween coming around. I mean, I love this time of year, and I wasn't able to enjoy it as much as I normally do.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah, I went through a transition, I guess you could say, for the last 2 weeks. Okay, so aside from my birthday weekend last weekend and last night, I've cut my alcohol consumption down to maybe 3 or 4 beers a night.
Oh my God.
Maybe a handful of shots, if that. I've been going to bed at midnight, 1 o'clock max, and waking up at 7:30 in the morning. And so for 2 weeks now, and I got to tell you, freaking being normal or living that normal life sucks, dude. I can't stand it. It is so boring.
Come on. He's talking about how boring normal people are, Jen.
Well, you got anything you do, if you leave the house, you're gonna have to pay money for something somewhere.
That's true.
It's you can't just, it's either that or just sit there and soberly watch TV.
There's 3 things you just have to.
Yeah.
Hi guys. Hi.
You just have to make your own entertainment, dude. I mean,
Like, I like to do like museums and things of this nature, and there's always like the free day. You gotta pay attention. Anyways, he asked me for a Halloween picture, and I only put them on Snapchat, and those are already expired. Oh, I have.
Show
It's
the
a movie.
camera.
oh, I like it. That's awesome. I love it.
But yeah, so living the
We have costume
this
party tomorrow
sober.
night.
Oh yeah, we do have a costume party tomorrow night. But yeah, living the semi-soberish lifestyle. No, it's not for me, man. It is just not for me.
It's just not for you.
No.
There's my
With me, places.
other one.
I have no old pictures. I mean, I dress up all the time.
My favorite costume is still the Plague Doctor.
Mm.
You can't go
I
wrong.
keep going back to it. I keep looking at it.
Yeah.
But I let Jaden pick that one. He was the Grim Reaper. I was the Fallen Angel. Watermelon Crawl. What's that?
No, you know about the
Country
watermelon
song.
crawl? Yeah, it's a country song.
Montgomery, yeah. It's Chad Michael
Man.
Montgomery.
How do
It's
you know
whenever
country
you-
music? What?
Because everyone, it was popular as shit.
I love Watermelon Crawl. Come on now. I wasn't
Yeah, it's
Right out of high
whenever
school,
you whenever you core a watermelon, we put
Put a bottle in
151 in it. Yeah, and so you eat too much of it, you end up doing the watermelon crawl. Getting
Okay.
drunk off the
That makes you happy. Sounds like
do the watermelon crawl.
There you go. Now you are one person I did not think I would ever hear sing any part of that song.
That's why I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, you listen like country.
No, it was a fad. Everybody, it was kind of like the
If your brain
Macarena.
Don't drive, do the watermelon crawl. Yep.
Yeah, it was like the Macarena. Even if you didn't know it, you knew it. Unfortunately.
Oh, I used to listen to country music like all the time. I went to the Hick school where I grew up. We were at the time the Hick school.
Can't do it. I can't. Well, I can
Okay, of
do.
course.
I can do old country like Hank and Patsy Cline and
Okay,
But
thank
like-
you for like qualifying that, because a lot of people are calling what I listened to in high school like old country. Like, remember VH1 back in the day was like the old shit your parents listened to, nobody wanted to hear. Our music is on VH1 now. We are the VH1 people now.
yeah. Yeah, like whenever it got to Travis Tritt, like the 80s mullet, 80s and 90s mullet country, like yeah, I was like, no, I can't. I cannot be a part of this.
What are you drinking?
That's the same face he made.
100 proof.
You gonna go run the lawnmower on that next?
Maybe. Wow.
Poor Jen.
I wasn't ready. Wow.
I
should have
told
been in the
you.
shower for a reason.
I told you I was taking the bullet for you, so you'd have more to sip on while I was doing the show.
Do y'all know where these we get little mini bottles with our big bottle, and every time I buy a big bottle, you get this. No, it's 2-pack, 100 proof.
Yeah,
They're just sitting in the freezer. Mm-mm.
At least
Yeah,
they're
but
in the freezer.
it started in October, and we probably drank like 5 of them already.
We?
And I think, well, me, and I think we've got
There's
probably like 14 or
there's at least a 12
16
pack.
in there, yeah. And so, and you get them when you get a half gallon of Captain Morgan's.
I prefer getting
So
butterscotch vodka. Butterscotch. Put it in my
that
soda.
shows you how much Captain Morgan's we drink.
I'm drinking coffee.
See, I've been doing that too for like the last 2 weeks. I wake up and drink freaking coffee. And at first, like I think I texted you, I had to put like a shot in it because there's no way I could do it. And then do a snake bite in my coffee.
That's how you.
And then eventually I was just drinking freaking coffee like nothing. I was like, yeah, no, this is not the life for me. It just feels too, I I don't know, Ozzy and Harriet to live like that.
Get
Can't
back
do
to
it.
the Halloween thing, but
Oh, come on now.
The last couple of years when we were trick or treating, I didn't really see any kids running door to door. But this year, kids were running door to door.
Oh,
And I'm
really?
like, that's what I did. Just
Mhm.
book it. Parents will meet you at the other end of the street. You go up and then back down.
Yeah.
Book it. Man.
Yeah, I was telling Monica, y'all only went for like an hour. We used to go for like freaking 3-4 hours.
He was over it. He was sweating. His little hands were shaking from holding everything.
No.
He was done. He doesn't care about the candy. He just likes to go and play and check everybody's stuff out. He said the outfits are lame this year. So there wasn't that many Beetlejuice, and I could have been Beetlejuice if I wanted to. That's all I
That would have been
wanted.
good. I'm surprised there weren't any.
I know.
Yeah, that's what she was saying. She was like, I want to be Beetlejuice, but there's gonna be everybody's gonna be
Because they just
Beetlejuice.
released that.
It wasn't a dang Beetlejuice. Oh,
Yeah.
he should be Beetlejuice, and you should be a young
Lydia.
Lydia Dietz.
Brad.
Mm-hmm.
The green wig and striped pants too.
Yeah, she's gonna end up getting the wig.
Well, I got the wig one time ago and just rolled with it. I accidentally bought 2 wigs of the same, and they gave me an option to switch. That was it. I
Dude,
said,
you know-
Beetlejuice it is.
You know what you ought to do with that wig is
Did you do anything exciting? Did you do door to door?
Oh yeah, we went up and down the streets, and then we took Lucas out to Snuffers because he loves Snuffers in Dallas. So
What is Snuffers?
it's a restaurant.
Okay.
It's in a haunted building. The original Snuffers in Greenville. Yeah, there's supposed to be a ghost in the back by the bathrooms. Don't know why that particular ghost is haunting the restroom vicinity, but that's where it's reportedly haunted.
Okay.
died on the shitter.
It means we close to the
Went
kimono.
out like Elvis
Yeah. Hey.
in a restaurant,
No.
which would be most unfortunate.
Oh, dude, I thought
Happened.
I thought I was gonna bite it on my Saturday night when we were having my birthday party out at the gas station. So my buddy brought like these big fancy cigars and shit because we were gonna sit around, play poker, and smoke cigars and drink scotch and whiskey and all this shit. And I started drinking early, so by the time that party started, I was already pretty faded. And dude, I started accidentally hitting this freaking cigar like it's a cigarette. So I'm like just puff after puff and inhaling and puff.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, the whole thing started spinning. And I was like, oh God, here it goes. And like I tried to make it back to our RV. And dude, I freaking fell completely out. And like everything went pitch black. And then I like wake up and everyone's standing over me. They're like, dude, you all right? Did you hit your head? Are you okay? And I'm like,
You better get out. I'm gonna
dude,
call
get
an
out
ambulance.
of my way. I'm good. I'm good.
Oh,
Dude, it was worse than like the first time you smoke a cigarette and you get that,
that
you know,
rush.
that sick ass feeling, man. It was bad.
Oh man, I got that the first time I had a cigar.
Yeah.
Like what? I don't want them ever again. I just remember that stomach churning.
Yep.
Like,
Stomach churning. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I was
that
like,
happened to me last time I smoked clove cigarettes.
Hmm.
Had like
Cloves.
3 in a row and then promptly vomited. It was horrible.
yeah.
Would
Yeah,
you
I'm
consider
surprised
Black
I
and
didn't
Mild
puke.
a cigar?
Yeah, Black and Mild's a
I
cigar.
mean, not really supposed to.
It's a not fancy, it's a hood cigar, but yeah.
I do.
Yeah, I remember when you used to smoke those.
I got one sitting on the microwave right now.
Nasty ass. All right, so tonight we're gonna get into the Halloween franchise. I figured why not?
That's what I said.
You know, you don't have to go now, but
No,
if
I
you
want to go shower. I gotta get up early. So.
right on. Love you.
I'm not an
So
Oompa Loompa.
it's not an influence.
Look at that booty.
So So yeah, so I was thinking about it. So it's actually pretty freaking complicated. So if you really look at the Halloween franchise and the movies, you have literally 4 different timelines, right? So like timeline number 1 would be the original Halloween, Halloween 2. You got to skip Halloween 3 and all the timelines because that's in its own universe. You know what I mean? And then so you got 4, 5, and 6, right? And then in your second timeline, you have Halloween 1 and 2,
Yeah.
and then it fast forwards all the way to H2O, and then to Resurrection.
See, I like H2O.
Yeah, yeah.
I like the original, and I like H2O.
Right. Well, H2O is supposed to only pretend that 1 and 2 existed, and then H2O moves in.
The third.
So
right.
there was no 4th, 5th, or 6th.
Right.
And then you have the third one, which is Halloween the original, and then it skips right to 2018, and then to Kills and Halloween Ends.
Yeah.
Right, because that's supposed to be the direct sequel, because Laurie Strode's not supposed to be Michael Myers' sister, and so there's no correlation there. So, and that happens in part 2, so it has to move itself in between part 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the entire universe of the Rob Zombie universe, which is standalone, has nothing to do with
right.
one. Yeah. So yeah, when you take it and break it down like that, that already complicates the hell out of everything.
Right?
Yeah.
That's like Jason. Overly complicated.
Yeah, Jason, yeah. Way Jason goes is you kind of take it in segments. So like you have 1 through 4 where Jason is a living dude, you know, kind of like a Wrong Turn kind of cat.
Right.
Then 4 starts the Tommy Jarvis saga.
I like Tommy Jarvis.
Which goes all the way through Jason Lives. And then the Tommy Jarvis saga ends, and you got the Kane Hodder saga where Kane played Jason from 7 through Jason X. So yeah, those kind of go, but the timeline lineage is all pretty much the same except for part 5, obviously, but that's the Tommy Jarvis thing. But that's not a Jason movie because Jason wasn't actually in the movie. That was with Roy Jason, the dude that was pretending he was a copycat killer.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I had the blue chevrons on the mask instead of the red ones.
Okay. But
yeah, so Michael Myers is kind of, if you take the first timeline where it's 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, it's kind of the same kind of concept. So the first 2 you have the Laurie Strode saga, right? And then 4 and 5 you have the niece, which is supposed to be his niece, is played by Danielle Harris.
Mm-hmm.
She's in those 2, and then you have Curse of Michael Myers, which is part 6, and that's the one that it throws you for a loop, because I don't know if you remember that one, but that's one where like all of a sudden Michael Myers has that thorn tattoo on his wrist or whatever. And,
shit, you know how long it's been since I've seen that? I do not remember that.
Well, it's very subtle if you don't catch it. So like they finally end up. So Michael Myers has this little thorn tattoo, and there's this dude in black that like is kind of like following him around and making sure that he's straight, and then making sure that he's not getting into getting busted and shit. And then in the very end, they catch him and they put him in a jail cell, and they have him like chained down, and then some mysterious man in black comes in and kills all the Yeah, yeah, right. Hear the train coming. But yeah, he
I
kills
hurt
all
myself today.
and he kills all the dudes and then lets Michael Myers free. And it implies that kind of like a Rosemary's Baby type of thing. Like Michael Myers was chosen by this secret society to be their demon baby killer.
Oh, the Illuminati. Okay, I got it.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, pretty much.
That tracks.
Yeah. Which that one always threw me off, man, because I'm like, but I mean, you kind of do, okay, so in part one, take it like you do Friday the 13th, right? Where Jason was a real dude before he went zombie Jason. Michael Myers basically what? Because in the first one, he gets captured by the police after Dr. Loomis shoots him. And it's the exact same scene as in the beginning of the movie after he kills his sister, Judith.
Mm-hmm.
And then he walks out of the house and walks, right out into the yard, and all the police
Just
surround
stands there. Yeah.
Yeah. And
which I always thought was weird. Like, I get he's disturbed, but still, like, he's a savant, right? He should have a little more common sense than that.
Right.
And they're holding the knife.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, unless he was just starved, he's begging for help.
Tired of the shit, man. Just tired of the shit. Got to stab a bitch to get some fucking attention around this house.
I got to stab to get some attention in this house. So, yeah, that one kind of took its twist. I think. Oh, and then there's and I'd actually have to look this up because remember in what was it? It was Friday the 13th, Part 4, when Tommy Jarvis first came to it, and I don't know if you remember at the very end where it was like, we don't know if it was actually a dream sequence, but it was like Corey Feldman, Tommy Jarvis, took on the mantle. Remember, because in the hospital room and he has the knife, and So in the 4 and 5, the one with Danielle Harris, she does the same thing at the end of 5. She has the same clown outfit that he did when he killed his sister when he was a kid.
Right. Well, that was on the movie poster, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's the one I got autographed for you. Yeah, the same one.
Woohoo!
And but yeah, so it's like it's kind of like the new taking of the mantle. And I heard somewhere, I think I was watching something, and there was supposed to be an idea for a continuation of her being the new Michael Myers, as she grew older and became an adult. So yeah, so I hear.
Let's see.
Are you Googling?
I am Googling.
Yeah.
Everybody likes to hear me talk or type. Sometimes they like to hear me talk, but not always.
I enjoy it. It means I get to take a shot.
Every time Monica talks, you got to take a shot.
Got to take a shot. So out of those, let's go with the first timeline.
Okay.
What was your favorite one out of those?
Out of 1, 2,
1, 2, 4, 5, and 6.
4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, skip the stupid mask one, and then go straight to H2O, right?
No, that's going to be timeline number 2.
Okay, so it's just 1 and 2.
1, 2. This is 1, 2, 4, 5, 6.
4, 5, 6.
So the Laurie Strode, the little girl, is two movies, and then the Curse of
The Curse.
Yeah.
So in that timeline, the original's my favorite.
Yeah.
Number 2 kind of played on my claustrophobia, right? Getting trapped somewhere. Doesn't have to be somewhere tight. It's just trapped in a space, right? Where she is trapped kind of in the hospital. And the thought of that is really eerie. Because if you've ever been in a hospital at like 2 a.m,
Yeah.
there's not a lot going on. The nurses are not super attentive. Hospitals are huge. And some corridors you walk down are very eerie. And I've been, because my first husband worked in the hospital when we first got together. And so I would go like back down the back corridors, not where like patients are coming through, but like the back corridors and the down in the bowels of the hospital, like in sterile processing. So it's creepy as hell in the hospitals, like in the middle of the night when there's nobody around. So, seeing it as a kid was spooky, because I remember Michael walking up behind the nurse and, stabbing her in the back and lifting her up. And I remember her shaking, right? And the blood's, and her shoes fall off. That was, like freaky to me. But as an adult watching it now, just knowing and having been in like giant hospitals that are not well lit and the lights do that weird, stupid, flickery thing. It's creepy as shit. Yeah. The first one of those two would still be my favorite, but number 2 would be the next in line.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go with you on that one. I mean, I think that the 4 and 5, the reason why those are very, very close on in is because she's a kid. So like, especially around the same age as I was a kid at that,
Mm-hmm.
So you tend to, when there's a kid in it, you tend to relate to the kid, same with the Tommy Jarvis character in Friday the 13th. Like, I wanted to be him.
Yeah. When I was a kid and other kids got killed, I was like, screw that little shit. He's probably an asshole. It didn't bother me. I didn't care.
Well, when they're the hero of it,
I'm like, leave the kids alone.
Right. Well, when they're the hero of it or whatever, then then you put you put yourself in their shoes,
like the Monster Squad, right? It was so popular back in the 80s because it was the age.
It was us
going to see it, yeah.
It was us against the monsters,
Yeah.
Yeah, Goonies too, Sandlot, you name it. When you're a kid, you look
Goonies,
at it.
Man, I love Goonies. The ending scene of Goonies was filmed out at the coast where I grew up.
Really?
Yep. Where the clipper ships.
Okay. The ending scene.
I mean, the bulk of it was filmed up in Astoria, but the clipper ship like sailing out, where they're watching it sail away, that was filmed at Goat Rock, out in Sonoma, the Sonoma County coastline.
You're gonna live with me now.
Okay. That's what ladies say to their husbands. You're going to come live with me now.
All that for a pizza. You just threw your whole life away.
Okay. His little ears.
With a job and a pizza.
Chocolate? Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Come on. Lots of ice cream at my house.
Right. Yeah, sold. And then you wake up a year later, there's no damn ice cream.
It was a trap.
Trap.
She threw me in the van.
I never saw my freedom again. No.
Stolen.
Yeah, so as far as favorites for me, I got to go with that. I mean, you can't mess with the original. But just to be 100% with everybody, like, I think out of all the the slashers that had the multiple movies, Jason, Freddy, Michael, Hellraiser, blah, 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 all that shit. Michael Myers is one of my least favorite.
Yeah,
Even back,
scare me. He's a juggernaut for sure, and that's a little unnerving, because I could never. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, you couldn't really place what he is. Like, he got stabbed, shot. I don't care if you feel pain; you're still going to bleed out, dude. Like, but he's beyond that. So, I mean, I don't know what the hell he is. What is he?
Right.
Because he's not. Because they in the first one they tried to just make it sound like he was like some superhuman, mentally unwell person who can't feel pain and just juggernauts like right through it. But I mean, I remember watching that as a kid thinking, dude, like, fucking fell out of a window. Like, there's a broken back, like a severed spinal column. You are not getting up and running away from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't care how mentally you are. Yeah, you're not.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you feel it or not. Like, your body literally will not work. And, you get shot or stabbed. I mean, you hit an artery. Sorry, dude, lights out. Like, what is this guy, that looks like a human but clearly is not? Like, what is he? Like, Goofy. What the hell is Goofy? I'm not buying he's a cow.
He's a cow.
Cow. It's like a. I don't even
wears
know.
A hat and drives
anthropomorphic dog. I don't know.
He's really a cow. I'm telling you. Google it.
Okay, I believe you.
Is Goofy a cow?
Is Goofy a cow?
Yeah. Type away.
The only goofy cow is the one reading this.
Oh shit. Okay, so then we go jump over to timeline 2, I guess. So that would be the original, and then part 2, and then we go directly to H2O, and then Resurrection.
Yeah. Right.
Which that's not a bad one either. I mean, that's an entire.
But doesn't Laurie get killed in Resurrection?
Yeah, in the very beginning.
In the beginning, yeah.
So that's the end of her saga, but it's basically like her saga through all 4 flicks. It is
totally. Yeah. So of those, I just like H2O because, again, it plays on that claustrophobic fear of mine of being trapped, right? They're inside the private school gates. They're kind of trapped in there and running from place to place. And yeah, I mean, the whole thing was, I think when that came out, I was in my early 20s, mid 20s. What year did it come out?
That it'd be 20, so 88, 98.
98, so I was 25 when that came out.
Yeah, because it's 20 years after the original.
Yeah. So I was 25. And I don't know. I mean, I guess I was still close enough to, school days that I remember like campus being gigantic and the same thing. Like if somehow you got trapped in it, that claustrophobic feeling, to know what it's like to be walking, through dark areas at night, thinking like who's in the shadows, it played on that for me. Plus, I liked where it went with Laurie. I mean, it was interesting, that she pulled herself together enough to become a headmistress at a private school, but in the background, she's got still has all the issues that, arose from the trauma she suffered as a teenager.
Right.
That was pretty real.
And he had LL Cool J in it, so.
Well, yeah. Is he aspiring writer? Right. But I remember when they were the freight elevator scene, where the girl's trying to get into the freight elevator and it ends up gashing her leg, and then she tries to crawl out later on and it's damn near severed. I just remember thinking that's brutal.
Yeah, I think I was actually excited enough to, if I remember correctly, I think I was excited enough to actually went and saw that in the theater. And But yeah, but I mean, still, I wasn't a huge fan. But like, if it grasped my attention, especially like in the late '90s, yeah, I would force will myself to the movie theater to go watch a freaking good horror movie. The thing I didn't like about the resurrection part was, I think if they would have left it right there where she lops his nugget off,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I think that would have been a lot more dope than doing the whole, oh, he broke the paramedic's larynx or whatever voice box and
Yeah.
puts the mask on him and yada yada. Because whenever he goes through the window and then he flies off that cliff and then the van's following him down and that crushes him into the trees. If that would have been a regular paramedic and not Michael Myers, he wouldn't have been alive enough to be like, ooh.
No shit, right?
Yeah. It would have been just.
Well, yeah, but if it makes sense for Michael Myers, yeah.
Right, exactly. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Well, I was just thinking back onto H2O because, you know, there's that one scene where he steals the car from the mother and daughter at the rest stop, kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
And I remember because it was about that time that I drove from Houston to San Francisco alone with my daughter, who was really young. So I think that probably lent to it too.
That'll do it.
Yeah, that was freaky. I can't say that I enjoyed that trip completely alone in the middle of nowhere with a 3-year-old or 2-year-old or however old she was.
Yeah, no, that the entire getting through the desert part is, I've never liked that at all. Going out west, it's not for me.
Like, I didn't want to stop and use the restroom. Like, every time we stopped, even for the hotels that I had booked along the way, I remember thinking there's some maniac like watching me, you know, like waiting for me to slip up. Like, I was afraid to leave the hotel. Like, I didn't like it. If I was alone, I probably would have been fine. But the fact that I had a child with me, like, flipped me out. Didn't care for it at all.
Yeah, it's one thing when it's just you, and it's another thing whenever you have to potentially protect or carry another person.
I ain't running far by myself.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Holding anything with weight.
Yeah, it's like, run with a potato sack over your shoulders. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'll get to my mailbox and be like, it
was a good run. My time is up. I've had a good life.
Go without me. Just keep going.
Keep going, kid. Keep going.
Don't stop for nobody. I ain't gonna make it.
Wearing a uniform like a cop or a paramedic or something.
Right. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, no, but I can't. I think that when they did the H2, I think that was going to solidify the end, and so they kind of went, balls to the walls with it, and they did a really damn good job. But that is one of the things about it, though, is if you look at now that I'm thinking back, if you look at how much hospital stuff is involved in all of them, going back to the first timeline, like part 2's big hospital scenes.
Well, most of it is in the hospital, yeah.
4, the whole beginning of it is when she's a baby. Yeah. And 5 has, no, I don't think 5 does, but I think it's 6. That's the one with Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd.
Yeah, and that's all hospital scenes too, because he like cranks up what is it, like not a steam or not a
the sauna.
The sauna, yeah. That's what you call those things. Yeah, and like cranks it up and puts the nurse in there and boils her alive.
Yeah, I remember that.
So it's like that hospital theme, and then whenever not to jump ahead, but whenever you get into what is it, the Rob Zombie Part 2, that's how that one starts out too, right? Is in the hospital, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there's the room in the hospital where there's all the
Right.
bodies and she falls. Yeah. So that's kind of, I never noticed that. So like, I guess hospitals are to the Halloween franchise as the Forest is to the Jason or the Friday the 13th franchise.
Seems to be.
Yeah.
All
Seems
right.
to be.
Where
Yeah.
creepy camps are to Jason, hospitals are to Michael.
And you'd think he'd have a lot more victims too, because like, but
holy shit! I mean, there's literally rooms full of incapacitated people.
Incapacity, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, if you're just looking to kill, like,
yeah,
boom, boom, boom. I mean, like, that's like easy pickings.
Yeah, you can rack up that kill count like nobody's business.
No shit. Can you do it quietly in the middle of the night?
Right. Yeah.
Who's gonna figure it out?
Yeah. And speaking of kill count, I think with the last three, Michael Myers surpassed Jason and Freddy on kill counts. But I find that kind of unfair because ever since the lawsuit started between the creators of Friday the 13th, they can't make any more right now. So it's like you don't have a chance to make up for it. You know what I mean? Like, how are you going to compete?
Thursday the 12th.
Right. Well, you can do either Friday the 13th or you can do Jason. So that's why there's like Jason X, Jason Goes to Hell.
Gotcha.
But you can't do both. And there's a new series coming out called Camp Crystal Lake. You know, but it's not specified as Friday the 13th.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
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 You know, when I moved down to Livingston, I lived in the Crystal Lake subdivision. I remember thinking, this is crazy.
That's cool.
Like, where's Crystal Lake? So I don't go near it.
That's dope.
And it's like deep in the middle of the piney woods. Like, all the houses were separated by a shit ton of trees. Like, it was crazy.
That's dope. I could dig that. Yeah, I remember when the gas station first opened up, they had the big wooden freaking for sale, of course, the big wooden Camp Crystal Lake, the yellow and
I've got one of those here somewhere. Yeah. I should.
Yeah.
I just didn't decorate for Halloween.
Yeah, I was like, what? And I forgot which kid it was. I bought. Oh, that's another thing. We were talking about H2O, and you're like, I think I was 25 when I saw that. So today, not to jump off subject, but today is my oldest daughter's birthday, and I was leaving this morning, heading to work, and I had a freaking hangover because, you know, I actually drunk pretty hard last night, and that sucks because drinking pretty hard when you're not drinking isn't really drinking hard. It just feels like it.
Because your body's like trying to recover, and you're like, surprise, bitch!
Yeah, yeah, for real. Gotcha, bitch. But and I was fucking doing the math on it, and she turned 29 today, dude.
Oh man. You know, Riley, my son, right, my oldest son, if February, he would be 31.
That's crazy.
I can't imagine that my son would be 31 because my daughter, Gillian, she just, like, on the 23rd of this month, she just turned 28.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, 28.
It's weird. That's, yeah.
I don't feel old enough to have children. My children are older than I think I am up here.
Yeah.
When I'm just imagining myself in scenarios. I'm like,
yeah,
25.
exactly.
No, like internal Monica is younger than her actual children.
Exactly. Yeah, because I don't know why I'm horrible with that shit though, but I don't know why I was like under the impression that she turned 27, and then I was like, doing the math, and I was like,
Isn't
wait a
it
minute.
shitty when your kids get old and you're like, how old are they? Fuck. Like, like I gotta do math, man. Like, how old am I? What year were they born? What year is this? Like trying to subtract.
I have to have certain ways to remember people's, especially my kids and Jen, and my ex-wife. I have to have like certain ways to remember their birthdays, or I won't even know their birthday. Yeah, like
I
'cause I
remember
know
birthdays pretty well usually.
I'm no winner at it at all.
I remember my first boyfriend in high school. I remember his birthday, not because I want to. Somehow it is like seared in there. So like October 13th of every year, I'm like, oh, why am I thinking of this?
Now phone numbers, like I can remember every phone number I had since like third grade. So I could tell you like my phone number from third grade. You know, I could tell you each house that I lived in. I could tell you the whole phone number, but I couldn't remember. Yeah, but I couldn't remember. Yeah.
Like I remember my dad's number because he had it from the time I was like 8 until the house burned down in the Tubbs fire in 2017. So, I mean, that was his number for my entire life almost.
Yeah.
So I remember that phone number. But, you know, what's crazy is I worked at Neiman Marcus for the bulk of my 20s, right? So like basically 10 years. And I still remember my employee number.
Yeah.
I had to punch that son of a bitch into the computer so freaking often that, like, again, it's seared in there.
Yeah.
Like, if I ever get Alzheimer's,
that's all you're going to remember.
I'll remember my employee number from Neiman Marcus.
And you'll wonder why October 13th is weird.
Yeah, like, what is it Friday the 13th? What is October 13th?
Supposed to be doing something today.
I feel like, I'm forgetting something. I can't tell you how annoying it is that I remember that dude's birthday. So annoying.
Yeah, no, like I literally had to use a song to make a jingle like in my nugget to remember Jen's birthday. Like, or else and my daughter actually told me how to do it. And she was like, because her birthday is January 31st. Mm-hmm. And there's a song called Caribou Lou where it's 151 rum, pineapple juice, and Malibu. You know, it's about making a drink. And my daughter's like, think of it like that and be like 131 rum. You know, and I was like,
okay.
I got it. Yeah. And I've never forgotten it since. And then like my
to remember it. I have to do that too with like important numbers.
Yeah. And then like my oldest daughter, she's November 1st, so it's easy day after Halloween.
Sure.
My youngest daughter is 11/9, so 9/11 backwards.
Well, you just had them all like right in a little grouping there, didn't you?
Oh, dude, it was financially corruptible.
I bet.
And then my son's my oldest son was 8/11, so you know it was basically the opposite of my daughter. And then my youngest son, he's November 13th, Friday the 13th. So, you know, so like, but then my middle daughter, hers is July 31st. And I could never fucking remember, like up until like a year ago, I'd hit her up like on the 30th and be like, happy birthday. She's like, it's tomorrow, Dad. I'm like, all right, just remember it's the last day of July.
That's hilarious. I'm like that with my mom's birthday. It's like the 21st or 22nd or some shit. So I like throw a happy birthday out there, like one of those, like the earlier of the two. I'm like, happy birthday.
All right. Well, yeah, I set us off track.
Yeah, sorry.
But yeah, no, we good.
We randomize it, you know.
You know how we do it. So okay, so back to where were we? We were at the H2O. Okay, yeah, the resurrection. Another thing I didn't fucking like about that movie is it was pulling off that trend of the I don't know what you consider. It's not necessarily found footage, but it's
the reality kind of
reality. Yeah.
so
We have
reality, like real time killer in a haunted
right.
house kind of shit. Yeah, that was that was I didn't like it.
Yeah, no, I wasn't a fan. And Buster Rhymes beating up freaking like it was so ridiculous, dude. Like he's like kicking the shit out of Michael Myers at the end, but he's literally using like the Bruce Lee sounds and shit. He's like, wah, wah.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, Buster Rhymes needed a paycheck so bad.
I guess somebody gave it to him. So.
Yeah. Yeah. That was in. Oh, so that's not your area. That's Jersey, right?
Where
the filming location is.
For which?
The Michael Myers house and all that. That's in
it was Illinois.
Is it Illinois?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's supposed to take place in Haddonfield, Illinois. Now, where it was actually filmed, I have no idea, but it was Haddonfield, Illinois.
Okay. See? Yeah, I thought it was Jersey for some reason. Illinois. All right. So, yeah. So, I guess neither one of us been anywhere near it.
I mean, I've been to Illinois, but
yeah, I've been to
Chicago. Pretty fucked up. Like, I mean, I just went for the Field Museum and got kidnapped by my friend and driven to a gay bar where a man asked me if I was a guy or a girl when he figured out where he was. That's a whole story. That is a whole story. And then I had to drive his drunk ass back home. Thank God I am good with directions because he drove me there like through all these crazy streets, and I drove us back by memory to his brownstone.
Nice.
Yeah, I was impressed with myself. Like I was patting myself on the back for that shit. I was pissed by the end of that.
Yeah, no, I would. Illinois was every time I've been there is for the gathering of the Juggalos, which is huge stories within itself. Good God,
just the name.
Yeah, dude, you. Yeah,
I can imagine. I can imagine. My brother, like my brother, loved ICP.
Dude, yeah, there's literally a place is Hog Rock. So the I think because it's in the Shawnee Forest, so like the police force for that entire county is like 17 police officers max. Yeah, and you got
if you're going to commit a crime.
Yeah, and you got 10,000 juggalos, so they can't do nothing. There's nothing they can do.
Shit.
Yeah, so
like Sturgis rolling into town.
Yeah, exactly. So like the only thing that they literally do is haul off dead bodies when people die. You know, they'll come in and they'll come in and take, pull them out. That's it. They don't take no one to jail or nothing like that. So there's literally, they called it the drug bridge. And it was like a bridge that went over this little creek. And there's, probably about 40 to 50 people on this bridge, and they all have signs with prices like acid $10, cocaine $20 a gram, blah, 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 weed, blah, blah, blah. And they'll be like, hey man. So you like walk down the bridge and you're like, yeah, yada yada yada. Yeah, it's and the police, like, they don't even come in the grounds, like I said, unless someone dies.
They're like,
they don't, they're like,
we're outnumbered. We're good.
Yeah, but yeah, that was my only Illinois experience, unless going through it. But yeah, so yeah, I never saw the location.
I've driven through it too. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It's going into Illinois because I have the megalophobia. Going into Illinois, when you cross that bridge coming from Missouri into Illinois, Jesus, dude. Like
brutal,
sick as a dog.
Really?
Like I get to the other side, I'm like, ugh.
You have a hard time crossing the Golden Gate, man.
Oh hell no! No, I'm good.
Really?
Yeah, no, I'm fine and dandy.
All right, it's your hard candy Christmas.
You're right.
I'm just.
All right.
That's Little Whorehouse in Texas. I need to watch that movie. I hadn't seen it in so long.
That's a good one.
Man, I love that movie.
I've been out there. I've seen that location.
Out in LaGrange?
Yeah, out in LaGrange.
The Chicken Ranch.
The Chicken Ranch.
We have a token from the Chicken Ranch.
And there's well, supposedly there's the place that it really happened at.
No, the real Chicken Ranch. There was a real thing. And the asshole reporter from Houston really did bust him. And when I lived in Houston, or when I was working in Houston, living in the vicinity, he was still on the news. He did like interest pieces and like health pieces. And his shtick at that time was slime in the ice machine. So he would go to different restaurants and like do inspections or hire somebody to do an inspection. And he would always be like, everybody say it with me. There was slime in the ice machine. And he'd have like wavy visuals. And he was so obnoxious.
That sounds very freaking familiar. Okay. I think I know what you're talking about.
That was the guy that busted the Chicken Ranch.
Yeah. There's slime in the ice machine.
Yeah. I was like, and he looked like, have you ever seen the Righteous, is it the Righteous Gemstones? Who is it?
Oh, yeah. The Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah. Baby Billy.
John Goodman. Yeah.
He looks like friggin' Baby Billy. With the white hair and like the overdone like caps on his teeth and over the top personality. Do not like people like that. I don't like people like that.
Okay, so yeah. Okay, so timeline 3. And we'll get through these last two pretty quick because I don't really have too much to say about them unless you do. So the third timeline would be the original 1978, and then it jumps directly to the 2018, and then the Halloween Kills and the Halloween Ends.
So the Blumhouse ones, not the Rob Zombie ones.
Right.
So I really, really liked Halloween Kills. Kind of on the fence with Halloween Ends, but man, I liked Halloween Kills because they went straight to it. There was none of this plot building shit. They went right into killing people brutally. And I was like, oh shit, all right. It's pretty fast paced. I like a fast paced horror movie. Get to the point.
Right.
Usually at the end of a knife or something. Like, let's get on with it. I'm here to see blood. Got a lot of pent up aggression. I need the serial killers to I need to live through them.
Just step
that dumbass teenager. He was obnoxious to his mama and he threw a bottle at a car. It's just.
No, I dug it because basically if you really look at it, it's from the 2018 through the ends. It's almost like the same day or within a matter.
Yeah, it's within a very short time frame.
Yeah, right.
And again, there's the hospital aspect of it, right?
Yeah,
they end up in the hospital. Yeah,
back in the hospital. Yeah. The one I didn't approve of, and who am I to approve of shit, was the ends, and that was because how he was taking that kid in as kind of like his protege and shit.
It was not a Michael Myers-y thing to do.
Yeah, dude, no.
He's living off of sewer rats in a storm drain.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it lost me on that.
Urban legend that manifested itself. It. He's like it.
Yeah.
In the storm drain.
The Michael Myers it, yeah.
Because I remember watching it going, are you kidding me?
Yeah, he would have just killed him and been done with it.
Yeah, he would have been sucks to be you, kid.
Yeah. And then, and not only that, but okay, if I'm a regular kid or whatever, I don't care how picked on I am or disliked in my community. If I meet Michael Myers in a fucking storm drain, I'm not gonna be like, "Hey, bro, it's cool. Let's join forces."
Can I borrow your mask, dude?
Yeah, let me borrow your mask. Go kill some people.
Got any pointers?
No, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen at all.
No. No, it's
so
not.
That part I didn't like. The fact that they aged him the way they did, I dug that. You know, he was, because whenever she does, Laurie Strode gets him in the end. You know, it comes out that he. So if you look at it through those eyes, right? Like the part one where he walks out and gets surrounded by the police, gets thrown back in the mental institution, and then comes back out. He gets injured here and there, but he's no longer in that timeline. He's not the supernatural at all. He's like just a mental nut bar. Right. You know what I mean? He either just doesn't care about pain or just doesn't recognize it or chooses not to recognize it. But he can bleed out, you know, and that's in the end, that's what they, you know.
Yeah.
But giving that factor, so they've never been given in that aspect, they've never been given proof that he's anything but a mere mortal, right? So if you omit all the other pieces where he survives the unlivable, right? He's never done that. He's gotten his ass kicked. He's, you know, he got beat down, but he does get back up and beat ass, and you know, but he's never sustained a wound that could kill him, but didn't, right? So in the very end, yeah, but in the end, like, why go through the point of after you slit his wrist down and he's bled out, he's obviously dead. Why are we going to throw him in a freaking industrial metal grinder to make sure that he is?
Yeah.
You know, like if you saw him live through stuff that he shouldn't have, then yeah, that makes total sense.
Unless you're a psychopath deep down.
Right. Exactly. And then the whole town's like, yeah, let's throw this dead guy's body into a freaking metal chipper.
Well, I mean, he had haunted them for so long. He was in their minds grown to be this crazy boogeyman. Now, whether he had the ability to, like, you know, surpass wounds in their mind, he's this huge monster. He's bigger than he really is. So in the mob mentality, it would make sense to do that. Like, get rid of the boogeyman. Like, watch the boogeyman get destroyed. Because he is the boogeyman to them.
All right. You shifted me on that one. I'll go with you on that. Yeah, I'll go with you on that. Because you build it up in your nugget, because the memories grow more than he's like sitting there just in a mental institution doing nothing. And then but I mean, you're looking over your shoulder.
Halloween Kills, man, he was offing people left and right and brutally. So if that is the mind of the entire town spread out over 30 years or 40 years or however long it's been, like, hell yeah, they're going to be like, throws out in the freaking shredder, dude. Be done with it. We thought he was gone. He pops up like a goddamn Jack in the Box. Put him in the freaking shredder, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. I'll go with you on that. Okay, and so, one of the things that alarmed me about that when it was being made was the fact that Danny McBride was part of it. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about? Like, who
Danny McBride is, yeah.
How the fuck did he become a part of a horror franchise?
Culture. They put his ass in there just because he's Danny McBride, dude.
Dude, like, yeah, I'm expecting him to, yeah. I just don't like. It's weird whenever there's a few of them like that where, you know, complete comedy people go into the horror thing, you know, and but it is very unsettling.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, this does not. What was that? Back in the day, one of these things is not like the other.
One of these things does not belong. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so I guess that brings us, and we're rounding our first hour, to the Rob Zombie, which is the fourth, I guess, timeline of the Halloween series.
Which is just completely standalone. It takes the place of 1 and 2.
Right.
Exactly. Like none of it happened. It is its own thing. And so Joe and I were talking about this backstage before we came on. Like I love Rob Zombie's music. Love it. But I'm kind of on the fence with this movie. It's like I liked House of a Thousand Corpses. I didn't really care for Devil's Rejects. I can't stand Lords of Salem. I did not like Lords of Salem at all.
Nah, not a fan.
And then these, I mean, they were okay, but I'm kind of like, meh. Like, meh.
Yeah. Three from Hell, I think it sucked personally. That's just me. Don't anybody out there don't unsub. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, 3 from Hell, I was not a fucking fan of at all. And then there was that one, I think it was called like 31.
Okay, now 31 is not related to anything, but that is a crazy movie. It's bonkers from the word go.
So back when I watched 31 was still when I was smoking bud, and I can't remember what they are now, but it's 3 movies put together. And one of them is Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy, right? Because it's like it's the elite betting on. Oh, and the other is Hard Target with Jean-Claude Van Damme. You know, it's like the elite betting on the poor people getting hunted by. You know, what I mean?
like The Running Man.
Like The Running Man, yeah. But yeah, it's 3 different movies, and I was like, yeah, because I used to smoke a lot more than I drank. Right? I was like, man, that's freaking Trading Places, because they bet the dollar, you know, because it ended up being like cheap bets or some shit like that. Oh
yeah, because I mean, just shows how little value human life has to like people that can have anything. Like how boring is life? How boring is life for you when literally anything you can
you can have, right?
Yeah. There's nothing to look forward to. There's nothing unique. There's nothing novel. You have to invent it. And they're psychotic and inventing it in horrible ways. It was crazy from the get-go. When I get into a horror movie, I put myself in the position of the people in the horror. Like, what would I do in this situation? What would I do in this situation? Like a choose your own adventure, but acted out in real time. And I just remember like going through each of those scenarios, like, and thinking like, how would I have handled that? Yeah. Like the Bubbas, you know, how would I have handled like being kidnapped and tortured? And then when the tables turn and they're like, oh no, we had to do, like, don't hurt me.
No, you had this coming.
Yeah, no. You'd be lucky if all I do is kill you at this point.
He done poked the bear. No.
Yeah. No. I'll tell you what, like, my first husband was a paramedic, and like we had an agreement, like, if anybody did anything,
it's gonna go hard to pay.
Yeah, he was like, I can keep them alive, and I was like, I can make them wish they weren't.
There you go. Yeah, no. So yeah, I guess that the whole fact on that is we agree on the Rob Zombie movies. And then the atrocity that was the Munsters.
Oh my God. Oh, I think I got through 15 minutes of it and I was like, no.
Yeah.
can't.
Nah.
I cannot.
Well, I can't front. All right, I'll be 100% honest. The first time I watched it, I was like, "What in the actual dog shit is this?" And then but I had a really, really good buzz, or I was either that or drunk. And I watched it a second time, and I was like, "Oh, I get it. Oh, it's pretty good." And then I watched it again, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I was wrong." Like,
Total garbage.
yeah, total garbage. Yeah.
Okay, so when I first saw, okay, this is not a horror movie, but when I first saw Strange Wilderness, I was
Okay.
drunk as hell sitting in that movie theater, laughing my ass off. And it's still funny, but nothing was as funny as me drunk in the movie theater watching that. Like, I'm
Right.
shocked I did not get kicked out of the movie theater. I was laughing so hard.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was one of those. That's a very few, because I very rarely laugh out loud, like when I'm watching a movie. But the shark part, like, dude,
The goblin shark.
yeah, I was like, dude, I like almost spit my drink out.
I don't think it was like the turkey. What are you doing to our turkey, man?
Yeah, that was.
I thought I was taking a piss.
But yeah, so yeah, with the Rob Zombie Halloween. Okay, so like I was talking to you about backstage, soundtrack means a lot to me, and it makes a movie for me. So
that makes a lot of
yeah, the whole backstory of Michael Myers being a kid and him going through the thing, it was all right. But the soundtracks that were going on were dope, so I dug it. And I liked how big and monstrous Michael Myers ended up becoming. Like when he's in there, you haven't seen him since he's a kid, and he's in there like painting on the mask, and the dude's violating the chick or whatever, and he stands up, and you're like, oh shit, like, that's a Michael Myers. Like, give me the 1978 Michael Myers, and I'm gonna be like, bro. Yeah, like, yeah, like, I'll take my chances. You put that dude in front of me, and I look like Little Rey Mysterio.
What was interesting, I remember about the movies, the Rob Zombies movies, was I didn't think he was going to kill his sister in the last scene.
Yeah.
Like, remember, he's just trying to get to her. And in my mind, he's trying to get to her to protect her because he's so delicate with her when he is around her. Now, he's psychotic, of course. Who knows what he would have done? But in my mind, I'm like, no, that's his baby. Like, he sees her as a baby that needs protecting. Like, he's taking all of this shit from the world and he's trying to kill all of this shit in the world that hurt him because he's trying to protect her. And he's just trying to get her somewhere that he feels he can, perform that best. And when she stabs him, I just remember thinking, oh man, because then at that point I was putting myself in Michael's shoes and I'm thinking, what a betrayal. Yeah, now you're going to die. But at that point, I don't think he was going to hurt her.
Yeah, because there's like the scene where he's showing her the picture of them.
Yeah, and he's
together, and she's like, I don't know who that is, blah blah blah, and he's like, you can see he's like, well, shit,
yeah,
she don't even remember me.
Sad, yeah, because she doesn't, but it's not her fault,
right? But he's still
mentally
locked into back in the gap, and I think that also that duality goes with the Danny Trejo character, where he's like, I was always good to you, Mikey.
I know that made me so sad.
Yeah, but he's like, well, but you still got to go because you're part of the system.
Well, yeah, and you're not my family. Like, he's trying to protect his family, right?
Yeah.
And no matter how good you are to him, you're not the family.
In the end, it's the bloodline type thing.
Yeah.
So, and then move along to part 2, which I fucking couldn't stand. So to me, part 2 was Rob Zombie believing he's David Lynch. You know, like, you know, the thing with like the white horse and like the kid talking to him as a kid, which didn't even look like the same kid, talking to his mom through him, you know, and then the silence and the, I don't know if you watch a lot of David Lynch, but that, like, it was a total freaking ripoff, and it pissed me off because I'm a huge David Lynch fan. And yeah, I just wasn't a fan at all. Like, I was like, this is trash. He's got this big beard. He's like basically this freaking hobo who's living out in a cornfield. Like, I just, yeah, no. Garbage as far as I'm concerned. Interesting fact, though. So the original kid that was in part 1, he may or may not be at the Cult Classics convention this year.
Blonde?
Yeah.
Okay.
And dig this. He's a rapper.
Okay.
And, yeah. And if he actually does show up to do the signing, he wants to do, because they have live outdoor music.
Perform?
Yeah, so he wants to perform. So him and me will be the actually only 2 rappers doing music at the Cult Classic. And
cool.
It'll be interesting to you know, put him in his place.
You gonna school him? You gonna school him?
I will school him.
I just remember him from Hancock. I mean, I remember him from like everywhere because he's kind of a distinctive looking kid, right?
The Will Smith flick?
Yeah, he plays this little shithead that lives in the neighborhood.
Yeah, he's the bully kid.
Asshole.
Dude, I didn't even never registered. But now I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I didn't even realize I was that kid.
Yep. He was in a few like movies. Like I said, he had a real distinctive look, so he was easy to point out.
Yeah, he's a weird looking little dude.
I did not know he grew up to be a rapper.
Apparently he is. That's what Roy was telling me. He's like, yeah, he says if he shows up, he wants to a set. And I was like, dude, put him on right either before or after me. Because it'll be hilarious. Because I've never heard his shit, but I guarantee you, like, it takes a certain I don't know, persona to pull it off, especially if especially if you grew up in his, so as a kid, he grew up as a little movie star, right? So he didn't, there's no, how would you say it? Help me out here. There's no hardships.
Okay.
And part of being a rapper is, like, especially gangster rap or whatever, hood rap, is you have to live in the hood.
You have to actually experience the hood.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If you have not had to be concerned about the color of your shirt when you walk out the front door,
exactly. There you go.
Not be rapping.
Yeah. If you were in the green room getting fed, tofu rolls, then and not worrying about getting shot going to school, you don't really have much to talk about.
Yeah.
Unless you're Tom McDonald. Yeah.
I remember that. I was like, shit, I forgot. The wrong color shirt.
Yeah. I've told you that story. The one time I wore a red shirt, or the Leatherface shirt. Yeah, never again. Not anywhere near my neighborhood. Shit. And I was like, bro, look at my laces. I swear. It's just because it's Leatherface. That's the only reason it's red.
Yep. That was my problem. I had a red shirt on. I was like, Totally forgot.
Yeah. So I guess that'll sum up our freaking Halloween franchise feel about. And like I said, Michael Myers is not one of my favorites, but I do believe that the franchise does deserve the acknowledgement. I mean, it went through a lot, and it's come full circle. And I heard they're starting another one. I don't know what it's going to be about, but they're talking about it. It's in the next.
Give Michael a rest, Jiminy Cricket.
Right. Oh, and another interesting fact on the Rob Zombie one is Danielle Harris, who played the little girl in 4 and 5. She's actually the sheriff's daughter in 1 and 2 in the Rob Zombie remake. So she is actually in 4 of the Halloween movies. So that's a pretty interesting little tidbit for those out there who care. Yeah.
Let's see, Monica, via YouTube, there is a horror host TV show called Creature Features. They took it from the original that used to air in the Bay Area. Yeah, okay, so I did watch the Creature Features that aired in the Bay Area in the 70s and 80s. And I think I know the one that you're talking about. It is called Creature Features. It is kind of like quasi-based out of the Bay Area. The castle that they live in is supposed to be in Bodega Bay, which is like in Sonoma County, which is where I grew up. And they do still show like cheesy old horror movies. And so if anybody liked the Creature Features from the 70s and 80s, this is a fun, like little kind of kick in that direction. But if you can find the original Creature Features from San Francisco, the Bay Area back in the 80s is when I saw, like late 70s, like early to mid 80s is when they used to feature them late night, Friday nights. They played some really good ones. That is where I first saw Deep Red, was on a Creature Feature in the middle of the night, and way too young to be watching Dario Argento. It stuck with me.
Argento is awesome, man. It's weird. Like the Italian horror, to me, it's literally like ice cream and gelato. It literally is. Like the colors don't have to, it could be like bright pink and be blood.
Right. No, this was deep red. Like it looked like blood. I remember thinking, shit, it's not the red paint I'm used to seeing in Hammer movies.
Yeah, no, but I love the like Suspiria and all the, what was that trilogy? Inferno, Suspiria. There's 3 of them. They were all freaking great. Then I watched one. It was Argento and oh man, I want to say it was Wes Craven, and it was like kind of like a creep show flick where it had, but it was only 2. It had the 2 different directors, 2 different horror flicks in the same movie, and I wanted to say one of them was a Edgar Allan Poe story, maybe Black Cat. I think it was Black Cat. Yeah, I have to look it up, and I'll send it to you and let you check it out. Dude, did you get the YouTube thing that I sent you about the Grand Old Hotel or whatever, the one in Bollinger?
Yes, I did.
Did you watch it?
I haven't watched it yet. I've been busy. Like I'm literally working and then coming home and like face planting.
Dude, you can watch the first I don't know, maybe not even 10 minutes. It's like an hour long, but you can watch the first 10 minutes of it and you'll be like, holy crap, I gotta go there.
Okay.
Like it is beyond creepy. Yeah. like they have a whole doll room, like where just some of the creepiest freaking dolls you've ever seen in your life that are there. And there's one room where they have just one single doll in it, and they show like she's sitting on like a dresser, and people leave her like goodies and toys and shit so they won't fuck with her in the middle of the night, or so they won't fuck with them. Yeah,
Here's an offering. Leave me alone.
yeah, just leave it be. Here's a Lego.
Here's a leg, an extra leg, just for your doll like this.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, but they have each room themed out. And I didn't even know it, but apparently Bonnie of Bonnie and Clyde grew up like 8 miles from there.
Okay.
So she used to go there all the time. And when she was with, Clyde, that was one of their runaway spots. And they had this, like a corner room up on the second floor where you could see the whole town, so kind of like a lookout.
I'd want to see the whole town too, if the whole freaking
the whole state. But yeah, I talked to Woody about it, and it seems like a pretty cool spot, like, because it's not too far from you. It's not too far from us. I think it's like 4 hours from me. It's probably like about 3 maybe from you.
Okay. That's doable.
So yeah, it's totally doable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Grandizer, Bela Lugosi is greatly missed. I actually have a canvas painting of him in my hallway. He was actually buried in his Dracula costume.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I did know. I think I did know that.
Yeah, huge morphine addict.
I know. I mean, that was clear if you saw Ed Wood.
Yeah.
It went through the whole Plan 9 from Outer Space where he was just whacked out the whole time.
Yeah. And I don't blame him. Morphine's some good shit.
I don't like morphine.
No.
I have had it one time when I was in the hospital, and I damn near came, like, I did. I had the flu, like type A, whichever. I thought I was going to die. Like, that's why I was in the hospital. And it had settled, or they told me it had settled, like in my lower back. I could barely walk. It hurt so, I was in so much pain. And just like sweating, like so much. And they ended up giving me morphine for the pain. And I'd never had it before. And when they put it in my IV, man, I could barely move or walk. I came off that bed. I did not like that morphine.
Yeah, morphine is nice to me. I remember when I first got my finger chopped off, and and it cut it to where it severed the nerve, so I didn't feel anything. And they were like, "How much pain are you in?" I'm like, "Oh, so much." Just, I can't stand. I've never felt nothing. Like, felt like a paper cut. And I was like, "It's so horrible." And they're like, "All right, well, we'll have to give you Dilaudid." And I'm like, "Oh no, woe is me." Just zoom me up, So I'm all sitting there, and then I'm like, "Oh yeah, it still hurts." And they're like, "No, dude, we've given you so much of that crap. Like, you cannot possibly be feeling anything." I'm like, in my head, I'm like, "You're right, I don't." I just feel high as hell.
I didn't feel anything other than it did take the pain away. I will say that. I liked that it took the pain away, but I do not like, I don't like that initial like feeling when it hits the bloodstream. It kind of burns hot. I don't like it.
Yeah. Because it's not supposed to be in you.
Yeah, my body made that clear.
Yeah.
Because I was laying there like, I'm going to die. I was like dying on the gurney. And it's like Satan's hand, like hot, like reached up and literally came over my scalp. That's what made me fly off the bed. I was like, oh, fuck. Scared the shit out of the nurse. She like jumped back. She's like, what? And I was like, what the hell was that?
Yeah. No, like I have a love-hate relationships with drugs when it comes like that, because your body knows like when it's not supposed to be accepting, especially the pharmaceuticals, like because it will have the effects, like you'll get nauseous or whatever, but the after effect, and you learn to dig it and you start to enjoy it too much, and then before you know, you got a problem.
Well, I don't think I'm going to have any morphine problems. don't think I'm going to develop any morphine like addictions.
Addictions.
I did not like it. So, like if I'm going to be taking any kind of medications, like and like it, it's going to be the ones that make you like floaty. Like, yeah.
Does Joe and Monica observe Dia de los
Muertos?
No,
I did not put an ofrenda up this year. I just was not feeling well, so I didn't put my ofrendas up. My little altars. Because, it lasts for quite a while. I want to say the first day is like the 27th, and that's when the pets come back. And every day is dedicated to a different spirit visiting you. And today, November 1st, is the children, and tomorrow is everyone.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan.
You're not?
Nah, I don't dig it. It's just because, I think it has a lot to do with multiple religious upbringings.
Gotcha.
So it's like you never, kind of like I'm one of those cats, you don't put a welcome mat, because
you don't put a welcome mat for anybody. There's that's just don't do it.
Right. But it's kind of the same kind of concept to me. It's like, just let a spirit in, or vampire. Like if you put a welcome mat up, then the vampire didn't even have to.
Well, here's the thing: they're coming to visit you anyway. And it's your family, right, that is supposed to be coming in. Now, I get where you're going with that. I do.
Yeah, but it's same as the Ouija board.
So, but I mean, you keep them alive through remembrance, and that's what this is about, is remembrance.
Yeah. No, I get it. I dig the concept.
And even though, right, the veils, the whatever's separating our dimensions is thinnest around now.
Yeah.
In December, it's even thinner, and people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that. So the winter solstice is actually spooky time 2.0. And I'm going to do a whole thing on it, because like back in the day, like back in the old goat herding village days, people stayed up like 48 hours to ward off the evil that would come in around that time.
Yeah. Demon nights. Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, no, and that's why I think the Catholic Church is tied, and don't hate me for this, y'all. This is just me thinking. I'm not talking crap on anybody's shit, but I think it's tied in a lot with the occult, and that wasn't Christ's birthday. They just took that solstice over.
Any like Christian religion. You can't just pin it on the Catholics. That's anybody who's celebrating Christmas.
Right. But no, but I mean that's the original concept, the Yuletide. Yeah.
Well, they took all the pagan holidays and slapped some Christian beliefs on it.
Right. Like
Easter. Right. Easter.
Yeah.
I mean, Oster, that German for Easter, Ostera. Yeah.
And the goddess Esther, the goddess of fertility, hence the eggs and the rabbits fucking, Yeah.
Maypoles and flowers and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Diana comes out from the underground and Sir Nunos goes back in. It's the switching of the times. It goes from death to life. Right.
And they put it
Everything has a season and a ruling. It doesn't make it evil. It's just nature.
Yeah.
And a lot of people can't understand that. death is very, it's part of life, man. It's
everybody does it.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to happen to all of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we stave it off as long as we can, but in the end, like, we're all shaking hands with the Grim Reaper.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. No. I had a pretty weird premonition right before my birthday about all that, and yeah, it's kind of, I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, there's some things that I had to really consider in my life. But it, like you're saying, it's all part of the same cycle. It's part of the same piece. Everybody's got to go through it. And that's one thing that, always kind of like fascinated me, especially when it comes to death, is it's literally the one thing that we all do, but it's the one thing that, majority are completely terrified of. So, it'd be like for a female getting her menstruation, or for a male, getting morning wood. Like, y'all go through it. It's gonna happen.
But it's nature.
But you're terrified.
It's tabooed for society, but it's
right
taking place no matter what.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. So, and people.
I mean, I'm not saying like let's all take a good look at it. I'm not saying like focus on it, but I mean, shunning it isn't going to make it go away.
Right.
And relegating it to the shadows isn't going to make it go away.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And the further that, I think that that's like a large plot of, especially, I'd call them modern, even though they're, older, but religions is, it instilled that fear of where are you going to go afterwards type of shit, instead of, like the Native Americans, they didn't give a shit. When you go, it's your time. That's fucking it. You go back to the great creator.
Candle burns down, when your number is called, when you hit the end of the conveyor belt, however it is you look at it, like, it's time,
Yeah. And it's
we all have an expiration date.
Yeah. Your alarm clock set. That's all there's to it. Time to wake up.
There's so many different ways to look at it too. It's so interesting, because I remember at one point, I think it must have been a story that I read where life was measured in candles, and some people had a lot of candles. Some people, might have been young but only had a little bit of candle. Right. Some people were old and still had, a fair amount of candle left. And I view life, like that. But I also view it in my own sense of space, right, in time, as like, this is so weird, but like a conveyor belt to nowhere. Like, you reach the end, do you fall off the end? Like what? Like you reach the end, you go. And I just think, like, where am I on the belt, compared to everyone else?
Right.
And then I see people my age passing before me. I see people younger than me passing before me. My father went ahead of me, and it's just like the most curious thing. But I've always, like, in my mind pictured it like, where am I on that? Or I've always pictured it as the candles burning.
Right. Because you actually, you kind of want to know, but at the same time, you don't want to know.
Yeah.
Like, you want to know when it's going to happen, but on the same note, like, if someone were to tell you, it's going to be April 22nd, 2033, it would just drive you freaking nuts until you got to that point. And that would be all that you concentrated on.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't enjoy your life because that's the only thing you're thinking of. Like, when the weekends come, all I can think about is fucking Sunday night. I don't want to go to sleep because I don't want the goddamn weekend to end.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What do the new Zennials call that? Or they
It's the
call
Sunday
that
night scaries,
yeah.
which sounds stupid as shit.
It's real, but it's stupid to label it.
Well, it is. I mean, it's a
Like
real
we all
thing.
don't want to
It's
go to
legit,
work
but
on.
it does. It's a stupid
None of
moniker.
us want
It's
it.
stupid.
Yeah,
It's any
but
like
I mean,
scaries and like I picture like Muppets like popping up from behind the couch.
yeah.
But yeah,
So
I just call it. I don't want to fucking go to work on Monday.
yeah, exactly. Because we got programmed in school.
How
We
come
didn't
I'm
want to go to
working 40
school.
hours
Yeah, we didn't want to go to
and I
school
only
on
get
Monday
2
morning.
friggin' days? I got to work 5 days. I only get 2 days off.
Yeah,
Like I
Or
spend
shit.
more time at work than I spend in my goddamn house that I'm working to pay for.
We could do a whole show on that shit. So Grandizer said, "Do both of us have any good Halloween stories in your past that we may not have shared?"
Any good Halloween stories?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't. Okay, so as an adult, I would say no because either A, I was partying so hard I don't remember, or or they were non-significant to me. I do remember when I was a kid. I think I was I was cusping to the fact where I was too old to go trick or treating, so like maybe 5th grade. Because I lived in North Austin and went to like a nice little neighborhood, but we were there to do terror. We were playing. We had a bunch of like stink bombs for mailboxes, and
Oh.
yeah, we were doing we were doing a bunch of the dirt. And someone, it's hard to remember, but either someone came out of a house and busted us, or something spooked us. It was me and my buddy Ryan, and we went jumping fences and got into like a field, and we were running through the field, and I didn't have an outfit because I was too old, right? So I'm like, my mom's like, I'm not buying you a freaking costume. And so I was wearing like a vampire cape that I had from like a year ago or 2 years ago.
Is this an example of why you don't put capes on superheroes?
Yeah.
Untouchables? No capes.
but I didn't have a shirt on, and for some reason, so I had like a cape, a vampire cape with no shirt, and these were like those back in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. They're like thin, almost like vinyl, I want to say.
Oh, the swishy sounding stuff.
Well, they felt like silk, but it wasn't silk.
Oh,
But
okay.
so we're running through the field trying to get away, and I tripped over either in like a hole or on maybe a log or something, and tripped and rolled. And I realized at that point that we were running through a patch of stickers, like a field of stickers.
Oh.
And so the whole cape was stuck to my, like, attached to my body. Like, once we got back,
Sound good.
yeah, once we got to the other street, I was like, dude, bro, you gotta help me out. And he like literally had to peel the cape off of me, and it was just pulling stickers, out of my sides and back. I remember that. I don't know if that's a good Halloween story.
I remember traumatizing my oldest child by taking him through the haunted house at the fire station my husband worked at. Like, it was Podunksville. It was the only thing to do. I like haunted houses at the time. And they were like, oh, it's okay. Like, that child was like, I traumatized myself. But, welcome to a Gen X kid.
Yeah.
Sorry for the rude awakening.
Yeah, I do remember though. So every spot has like, or every neighborhood has like the haunted houses or the ones that are actually haunted, that all the kids make up stories about, you know,
Right.
and they're like, oh yeah, and I went in there one time, and back then, now you go, dude, that kid was full of shit. But at the time, you're like hanging on every word, and he's like, yeah, I snuck into that abandoned house and opened up a door, and there was 3 nooses in it where they hung the kids and blah blah blah, and you're like,
Well, you know
oh,
what? In his mind, he might have seen that.
maybe.
In his little jacked up, like pumped up state of heightened awareness and terror, seeing
Right.
some like wallpaper hanging down, and they're like, "Yes, like, you know, the house is out to murder you." Which
Right, yeah.
reminds me of a scary story that I read that involves nooses and a haunted house. And I can't remember where I read it, but it was such a good like ghost story, right? And it's about this reporter that wants to go investigate the local haunted house. And he brings a friend with him. And it's the haunted house is the site of a lot of suicides. A lot of people like choose to end it there via hanging. And he's there to figure out why, to see why this house has, you know, this horrible reputation, and, you know, try to get insight on why people might choose that place to end their mortal coil, right? To slough it off. And for the duration of the evening, they're sitting in this room upstairs, and they're, you know, there's a window in the room looking out, and there are some weird shadows like on the walls, right? And there are shadows, they look, you know, they're tree branches, but they look kind of like nooses, and they're creeping, but they're just shadows, right? They're just shadows. They're coming down the wall. And as the night wears on, the moon obviously shifts. So the shadows are shifting with the moon. And his friend and himself are having a conversation, and he's talking about the strange sensation that he's getting, but he can't put his finger on it. Like, and he feels kind of tired, but he doesn't know why. And the windows seem to be getting smaller, and he doesn't understand why the windows are getting smaller. And as the night wears on, the strange feeling takes over. The shadows eventually come down to where they're touching them, and the windows shrink down and disappear. And then you realize at the end of the story that the house, that was the house putting the nooses around them and hanging them. Their bodies were found the next morning, hanging in the room of what was called a suicide. But it was the house actually taking them out. And as the windows were shrinking, their life was fading.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's cool. I can dig that.
Yeah.
That's a good little spooky story.
So think of that next time you're sitting alone in a haunted house room, and there's some creepy ass shadows coming in the window, and nobody knows why. People are going to that house, or weird things happen at that house, but you're there to figure it out.
Yeah, like yeah, going to 1408.
Yeah.
Great movie. Great movie.
Great.
I love it. And it's even cooler when you realize that it was actually 1308, because they didn't have the number 13.
But if you look at high rises, you'll notice most of them do not have a 13th floor.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So it was really 13.
That's right.
Yeah.
Can't get around it. No matter what you numbered the floor internally, it is still physically the 13th floor.
There you go. Now I have a spooky story from when I was a kid, and usually like, okay, so if I'm by myself or whatever, it could be my imagination or my own perception of shit. But there was a group of us, and this is like, I want to say 2nd grade. So we were still young, so there's still room for imagination or whatever, but it was physical. So there was like 5 of us, and we went into the school bathroom and turned out the lights and did the Bloody Mary thing.
Everybody's done Bloody Mary.
Yeah. But in this instance, and this is no bullshit, you know, right hand on God.
God.
Yeah. We went into the bathroom, shut the lights off, did the Bloody Mary thing, and this white like figure kind of appeared in the mirror. And like as soon as it did, like instantly, like as soon as you saw it, this chick screamed bloody fucking murder. And someone, oh, I remember I had my, okay. Remember when Star Wars was back in the early 80s? And it was
Oh, yes, I
light,
remember.
and it was a flashlight with a tube on it and a hollow end. So whenever you swung it, it went. Yeah. And I kicked that on. Someone kicked the light on, and this chick, or one of the girls, cheeks were sliced down both sides. And she was like bleeding out of her chin, into her shirt, down her neck and shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and teachers fucking ran and were like, "What the fuck are y'all doing?" You know, we were like, "Good." And I was like, "I'm gonna save them all." Yeah, that was a weird one. That was a weird one. Yeah, so we're rounding our 8 minutes coming on for our 2-hour mark.
You and the round numbers. I'm just like, we're
I
done.
have to. I have to. I'm too OCD. I can't do it. I can't do it. Like, I think I've told you before that my stereo, Jen's even said it, I think, on here. I have to have it on 35 or, you know, like an even or odd number. It has to be on 30 or 35 or 40. Yeah, I can't. If you have it on like 33, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Turn that up.
I dated this guy once, all right, and oh my gosh, his stereo system, I don't know, like he curled up around it at night or something. So he had this like crazy expensive, like real sleek design stereo system. And he had it all like fine-tuned and all this shit. And I went to go hit play and he flipped the fuck out. He's like, "Don't touch my fucking stuff."
Yep.
And I was like, Jesus Christ, dude, like calm down.
Yep. I'm the same way, dude. Like I'll get home from work because Jen and Jaden, they get home probably about 30 minutes before me. And like I'll sit down, you know, like get all my shit together and grab a beer and, you know, and click my shit on, and I'll be like, who in the fuck
Oh yeah.
has been fucking with my radio?
No, I do that in my car. Like I can tell, like if somebody touched the goddamn treble or the bass, I'm like, I mean, I get that, but cars are like stupid. You have to like fit it like in that sweet zone. This was like some tricked out stereo system. I'm pretty sure it would have sounded good on any of the settings, but he was just like, "Don't touch mine, don't touch it." And I was like, "Shit." Like, okay, give it a kiss goodnight.
Nah, yeah, I still got one of those old school, like that has the big receiver with the equalizer.
Yeah.
I just don't have the CD and tape decks and shit to go with it anymore.
Yeah.
But
I had one of those like back in high school. There were no CDs back in high school. We had effing cassettes. And Casey Kasem on Saturday mornings, right? And if you wanted to record a song, you better haul your ass across the goddamn room and hit play and record at the same.
Yep.
And you're like, "Stop talking, motherfucker. I'm trying to record."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Monica was the character of the Purge.
I was.
She pulled it off. She killed it.
Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can share that photo.
You share that. I'm going to go tinkle real quick.
I've got to figure out how the hell to share it. I don't even know.
Shopping turd.
Because I'm not running this system like I do mine. Let's see. And I have a Mac. It's a pain in the ass. I am not Mac proficient. I can assure you that. Let's see. Hey. Holy shit, it worked. Okay. Present. Slides. And from my computer, maybe? No. Yeah, sorry, Grandizer. So Grandizer said that he expected to see me in costume for my stream. Yeah, I had to go trick-or-treating last night. We were out pretty late. And by the time we got home, I was tired because I had to work all day. And then I got to go run the streets with my 12-year-old son. And then eat a very fattening dinner. And then drive an hour home. So, yeah, I was tired. Sorry. All right, Joe. So when you are on my show and you are trying to share a picture, what do you do?
I don't think I've ever tried to share one of yours.
You have shared pictures.
You go to the present.
Okay.
And then, so I got a notification that StreamYard is having a hard time doing Google Images. But normally you go to present and then you go to share screen. And then it'll give you like a little list of any Google Images you popped up. So like I'll do like a extra tab up there.
Okay.
And what I'll do is I'll open up a browser and put them side by side, look it up.
Oh, I got you.
And then share screen and then go to the one
Slides
that I'm trying to share
on my computer.
So the slides you can create a whole like a slide presentation. You know, like that's how when you were on Donnie Cho's one with the Bigfoot haters, haters
just like trying to convince everybody that we were going to go kill every Bigfoot in America.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how he did it. He did the slides ahead of time. So he did number 1 and then number 2 and then number 3. At least I think that's theoretically that's
here. I am sharing these with you. You just share them because I'm too stupid to figure that out. Apparently, I just sent them to you on Facebook.
Oh well, shit! Hang on, let's see.
I'll let the guy drive in the show.
If,
don't expect much. It was very underwhelming, I'm sure.
If it's the wrong picture,
okay, now like
because
I don't have any of those pictures.
I know you don't, but I'm just saying. Okay, let's see. Okay, got that one. So be present, share screen. There we go. All right.
Is that the right photo?
Yeah, it is. Okay, kids, give me a preview. So that's good.
Oh, tiny. Can't even see it. That sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey, if you go to my Our Paranormal World's Facebook page, it's there. You can see the costume.
And then let me see if the other one's better.
Well,
no, it's gonna be tiny too, but I'll still put it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hand painted mask.
Oh, you hand painted that? You didn't just buy it like that? That's
well,
cool.
I bought it, but it looks stupid, so I scuffed it out and then painted it. Because I didn't want some stupid shiny mask. Come on now. I can do better than that. So I scuffed it up and applied paint to it, like face paint.
I can dig it. Well, you know, it takes something to actually customize your own shit.
Yeah.
You know.
I ain't doing no off the rack crap.
Right.
I'm bougie like that. And when it comes to Halloween, I ain't playing. I was so pissed because I was doing the purge with one of my coworkers. And we had planned this out. And I'm like, wear a black hoodie and, you know, some slacks and get your baseball bat, like, or your gun, bring your AK, whatever, you know, just like we're doing the purge. This motherfucker shows up looking like he's like just going grocery shopping, like put no effort. Like he had acid washed, ripped up jeans on. I'm like, okay, ma'am, first of all, take the 80s pants off.
That's hilarious.
And then he had a light blue hoodie on. I was like, have you seen these movies? I was like, I was mad. He's like, well, we should dress up next year. I was like, fuck you. I'm not dressing up with you ever again. Like, cussed him out in front of the whole office. I was pissed. I'm over there looking like a goddamn hooker with a baseball bat, and you walk in here wearing 3 clothes.
Yeah, no, usually I go all but this year, like, so I had to take off work and I don't get PTO, so I had to take off work for my birthday for those 2 days. So I was missing money, and I was like, I got to make up money. And Jen had Jaden down. They were going to go do their thing and have fun with it. And I was just like, man, I wasn't even feeling Halloween. It was just one of those times.
It just rolled through the show.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I just came home and started hanging out. And I was like, you know what? I've been good other than my birthday, I've been good for about 2 weeks. I was like, I'm going to go ahead and get nice and, you know, shiny and drink some drinks. And then I think it was at like 1:30 in the morning. I clicked on Abe's show, and he was dressed up. He looked like he wasn't purposely dressed like Spenguli, but
he did look like Spenguli, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I'm not the only one that thought that. Okay, when I saw him, I was like, I didn't know who it was. I thought it was Spenguli for a hot second.
Yeah, and then Josh was on there, and so I was like, yeah, let me jump on. But I was toasted. Yeah. So like, yeah, this morning I was like trying to piece together everything I said.
Josh sent me the invite, but I couldn't because we got in so late and I was so tired. I fell right to sleep. I don't even think I saw his invite until this morning. I felt bad. I mean, he told me he was going to send it to me, but man, I'm sorry I missed the show. I guess Joe's dictating something that we can't hear.
No, I just got a call from a homie. And he only calls me when something's important. So I was like, I'll call you back, motherfucker. Well, all right, man. Well, shit, we hit our 2 hour. We're going to have to wait 50 seconds until it's 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Jeez, Louise.
I'm just fucking with you.
You know, it's going to take a minute for the thing to end anyway.
I know. I'm fucking with you. But so what do you got planned? What's in store for us next week?
So next week, I think what we're going to do is we're going to do movies and books, kind of a continuation of that.
Oh, the film adaptations?
Yeah, we'll talk about the book, and then we'll talk about the film adaptation. And then I really wanted to talk about ghost stories from coal mines and coal mine disasters, because our country has quite a few of them. And one of the scariest ghost stories that I had ever read was the direct result of a mining disaster. And
you got the claustrophobia, so that's extra spooky for you.
Right. And just this story, like I can see the face of that spirit, Like the way it's described, it's terrifying to me. Like, yeah. So we'll talk about that. And it also ties into like My Bloody Valentine, which is one of my favorite horror movies, which takes place in a mine. So I'm pretty sure it was a coal mine.
Yeah, it was a coal mine.
Yeah. So
dude, you got to check out that. I sent you a link on it. It's the Cinema Snobs review of My Bloody Valentine. It's
the old one or the remake?
The original. The 80s.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So that was like the second one, right? Because there was like a 50s one. I think the 80s one was a remake. And then the 90s or 2000, the 3D one was a remake.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's an old one. I might be wrong. But yeah, you got to check it out. It's freaking. He's called a cinema snob for a reason because he's sarcastic about fucking everything. So if you're like got your heart into it too much, you're like fuck this guy. But he's like, oh yeah, look, I just got killed by a drill that runs on a battery from the 80s. Yes. But he does a really good review on it and does ties in a lot of the actors and actresses into other movies. So it's pretty cool. It's actually really good.
It's all right. Sweet.
And
yeah,
then
by Dwight Yoakam has like in my head. It's one of my favorite songs by him. I love bluegrass music, and it's very bluegrassy. And it talks about the miners, and when they died, they're asking God to take them out of the ground so that they're not in the ground anymore.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah.
The opposite, instead of putting you in, take you out.
Yeah, please take me out.
I just liked when he got his end in whatchamacallit, French fried taters.
Sling Blade.
Sling Blade, yeah.
Yeah, he played an asshole. But you know what? Like character acting, whatever. He's supposed to be like a horrific womanizer and like just a general asshole to the ladies in general. So that probably wasn't a far stretch. Yeah.
He's like, they're like, I love the acting in that. He's like, acting?
No, but what? Just put a broad in front of me. What are you talking about? Just pictured him in
that every Thursday. Hell yeah. I don't have an idea for mine for Friday, but I'm sure I'll come up with one. So yeah, I'll just mull it over with Monica through the week, and we'll figure something out.
We'll wing it, man. That's what
we'll wing it.
What we do around here. We wing
Maybe
it.
I'll get yeah, maybe I'll get see if I can get Woody on here. Maybe we can go over that.
Where the hell's Woody?
Maybe we can get get into that hotel and get on some pieces on that and plan like a little investigation out there.
I'm down for that. You just got to give me a heads up.
Mm-hmm.
Like I need
a lot of. It'll have to be after our Louisiana trip, New Orleans trip.
That's way the fuck out there. All right.
Well, yeah, because I mean, okay, so Mallapalooza's going down in December.
Mm-hmm.
They rescheduled it, but I'm thinking we just save up bread. You know what I mean? So that way we can do the New Orleans thing big. And then right after that, that's January. And so March, we got Cult Classics.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, maybe in between January and March, maybe we can make it like a February type of thing. Meet up out there.
Oh, I remember the Satanic Panic area, Grant.
Yeah, sure do.
Where all the church ladies had their freaking, what are they? Bloomers in a wad.
Yeah.
They were clutching their pearls daily.
Yeah. No, I remember that. I thought it was freaking stupid.
It is stupid.
Yeah.
Chimney. Stupid.
Yeah. Oh, pentagrams are everywhere.
Think for yourself, Sugar Plum. Think for yourself.
Yeah. So's punk rock shit. But that was when everything was satanic. Rock and roll.
Whatever.
Blah, blah.
Freaking Barry Manilow backwards is probably freaking more satanic. Whatever.
Yeah. Wayne Newton. Or
Copacabana. It's really telling you to murder everybody.
yeah. Copacabana is the Bohemian Grove. But all right, well, yeah, man. I thank y'all all for tuning in, and Monica, as always, thank you for having you on.
Thank you for having me.
No, it's all my pleasure. If you want to go ahead and shoot out your info or whatnot.
Ooh, Our Paranormal World. Come subscribe. I am like 15 people away from being monetized. I don't even know what the hell that means, but it seems to be like a big thing on YouTube. They're like making a big deal out of it over on my like studio app. They're like,
oh, the
so
YouTube
close,
studio, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. But whatever. I'm like 15 people away from it, slowly creeping the numbers up. So
yeah,
we'll see.
So there
Maybe
you
in
go.
a week or two, I'll get those 15 people, and we'll figure out what the hell it means to be monetized. It probably means that I can't cuss, so I'll just be cussing over here, and I can't talk about murder.
You know me, I don't give a shit. So yeah, we'll
demonetized very quickly.
We'll do it clean over there and raunchy over here. Oh yeah. And as always, Breezy Speakeasy Fridays, unless it's a special show or something comes up.
Or one of us is sick or some shit.
Yep, absolutely. But thank y'all for tuning in. One love, God bless. Keep searching for the truth because it's out there. And we shall see y'all next week for sure.